Children, we were going through the chapter Punctuation, that was chapter 9 from practice book. And as we had already learned what is the punctuation, what are the different punctuation marks, like the full stops, the comma, the colons, the semicolon, then comes the single inverted comma, the double inverted comma, the use of capital letters. All this we had studied. Now let us go through each one of them just briefly. See, remember, for the use of capital letters, how do we go? The first word of a sentence begins with a capital letter. So that's a fixed one. Every time we begin a sentence, we should begin it with a capital letter, no matter what. All proper nouns begin with a capital letter, and this is also a fixed one. Every proper noun should begin with a capital letter. So these are the two conditions which are must, where a capital letter is a must. First, whenever we begin a sentence, and second, whenever a proper noun comes. So that was all about capital letters as a punctuation mark. Second, we come to the use of full stop. This is the full stop given with a dot. And what is the use of this full stop and where do we use it properly? So here the worksheet, through the worksheet, they have made us understand where to use a full stop. So basically full stops are meant are given in a sentence when we want to give a full pause, a big pause to our sentence, and then we want to start our next saying our next sentence. So there comes the use of full stop. So whenever a full stop comes in a paragraph or after a sentence, our reading must be as such that the listener is able to guess that yes, there is a full stop after this line. So it should be very well expressed in our tone, in our pitch, whenever we are reading a sentence, reading a paragraph or a sentence. Just have a look at the remember box. Full stops mark the end of an assertive or an imperative sentence. So whenever an assertive means a plain positive sentence, and imperative means a sentence which gives an order or a command or gives a suggestion or a request, that kind of sentence. So what do we need to remember? Full stops marks the end of an assertive or an imperative sentence. So whenever such a sentence ends, we mark it with a full stop. One more important rule that we must remember for a full stop is that signs, lists, labels and notices do not need a full stop. So all these things will never need a full stop. If we are making a list of things, where suppose we are making a list of grocery things one after the other, so whatever we are writing, suppose if I say, for example, 1, I need rice in my list. 2, I need wheat in my list. 3, I need some sugar. So the list goes on and on like this. And whenever I am making a list, rice, so I will not give a full stop here. Wheat, no full stop needed. Sugar, no full stop needed here. So this is what is meant by the rule that signs, lists, labels and notices do not need a full stop. So whenever making a list, whenever we are showing some symbols, some signs, we do not need to give a full stop like this. Then full stops also mark abbreviations and initials. So this is also one more point to remember. It also marks abbreviations and initials. For example, nowadays they have given a note. These days it is usual to drop the full stop. So nowadays we do not mark a full stop in the abbreviations or in the initials. So that is an obsolete use that we are not following these days. We usually tend to drop the full stops in abbreviations and initials nowadays. It is common to write State Bank of India as SBI. So we do not write S.B.I. We simply write SBI. Then comes the question mark. Very obvious. If it is a question, then it will be definitely followed by a question mark, which is this. So whatever questions comes, it always follows a question mark.